I developed hip pain with no prior history of hip issues. I resolved it, however, through one dream incubation. That night, it had been about 2 weeks in, and I had a pretty good idea that the internal conflict was what was causing this issue. I had been arguing with myself about marketing for my website for one of my businesses. But my inner child, this other part of myself, was like, there's no point. It's not going to move the needle, and that's really boring. So that night, before I went to bed, I said to Spirit, I request a dream that gives me clarity, healing, and guidance on this hip. I think this is what it has to do with, but either way, I'm all ears. And then I imagined myself first person surfing, because in those days I used to surf a lot, and surfing implied that my hip was 100%. I went off to bed, and then I had one of the most powerful dreams of my life so far. What happened was I returned from a tropical trip. I had gotten home and I was unpacking my bag. I opened my suitcase, and this exotic bird flew out of my bag and started banging around the room. This thing was freaking out. It was hitting the ceiling fan, the walls, and over I kept repeating the exact same phrase to it. I said, hey bird, calm down. I got you. I know the way out. I don't know how many times I said it to this bird, but finally it shrunk down and acquiesced. It landed on the wall and it turned into something like a little dove. I gently picked it up, I opened the door, and I let it out. And when I did, it expanded into something like a 15, 20-foot wingspan phoenix, like a mythological exotic bird, something I've never seen on this planet. And it was so gorgeous as it flew off into the sunset, I started bawling. I just started crying intensely. And as many of you may have experienced in your dreams, when we have very, very intense emotion, it jolts us awake. So I awoke and I immediately started recording into my dream recorder. And while I was sobbing and recording this gorgeous dream, I just started getting a full-blown download from Spirit. And they were saying, do you understand now? You didn't come here to this world to do a bunch of boring human stuff. You came to be the exotic, beautiful bird that you are. You do you, and we will take care of the rest of that stuff. So what happened was I woke up that day and that hip pain was gone. And I completely dropped the marketing thing. That's really what the dream was about. I had a feeling that's what the issue was, this internal conflict, but I didn't know how to put it down. So that was taken care of. What's interesting is that 2 weeks later, I woke up at an absurd hour, very early, 2, 3, 4 a.m., something like that. And I would never generally just jump on my computer and start working, but I did that day. And by afternoon, I had knocked out all of the marketing that I had intended and wanted to do.